fun thing about driving classic cars or like 90s cars, 2000s cars, and all this kind of deal, or even like classics in general, your 1980s, your 1990s, 1970s even kind of deal cars, is you can build those. You can like build those from the ground up. Which begs the question. With all these repos and all these messed up ones and all these etc., etc., I mean, if you want the style of a 2025, like a Hellcat, etc., but you don't want all the BS, maybe you should gut that puppy and do an engine swap. And then you get all the nifty stuff without all the headaches. And it sounds like, why the hell would you do that? Well, maybe you want something along the lines of a thing that's not a sports car, like a Metro with a 300 horsepower rear wheel drive kind of deal. It's coming. I'm working on it. It's a winter project kind of deal. Maybe you want something like a normal four-banger car, and you do a V6 swap in it kind of deal. So everybody on paper looks like you got the little four-banger all quiet and such. And, all this stuff, or even like today now, like a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder 1.0, etc. kind of deal. And you drop a diesel in there. Now, a lot of states can't do this. I mean, they get real butthurt on inspections and all that kind of deal. If you've done anything, changed the wrong kind of, put the wrong kind of bulb in the headlight, they get butthurt about stuff like that. But a lot of states you can still, they haven't been so socialist with those things yet, and you can still get away with doing swaps and making stuff how you want it kind of deal, as long as you're not obnoxiously loud and not obnoxiously, blowing coal or whatever the hell it is, throwing smoke out the thing kind of deal. As long as you're driving safe and driving right, you could probably do these kind of things with these newer cars. Get all the style without all the other crap, Do something like Lopez did down there and jack a smart car up, make it a four-wheel drive smart car, stuff like that. Because that's just something different. But the important thing is you get all that style. You get all this 2025 style if you'd like it kind of deal. You get all this 2025 style with the 2000s tech, kind of deal. And don't disregard the 2000 tech, because 2000 tech did a lot of good stuff, You had port injection, you had like 4 or 6-speed transmissions, you had a basic rear end kind of deal, you had ABS, you had airbags, you had traction control and all kinds of stuff, and you can add all this stuff, it was pre-subscription everything, so you can do all your fun remote start, connect whatever the hell radio you want to run in it, run whatever the heck audio system you want to run in it. You're not obligated to the factory stereo system or something stupid like that. Run, normal safety features in the car, run normal security features in the car, and you're good, or you could just buy a 2000s ride kind of deal. But, I mean, if you want that style of that newer look, you can do it by swapping everything over. Now, a lot of people, it's going to be like, well, that's just dumb. It's just stupid. And a lot of people are going to understand what I'm going for here. Like, if you want that style, you can get that style. You can do a front end swap, something like that. A front face grill kind of deal. A lot of the cars, they really don't change them that much. And a lot of the cars, sometimes they do. Like you get those 2-year-old Cadillacs, where after 2 years, they discontinued it. They switched it out. Good luck ever finding taillights kind of deal, that kind of deal. But it really is one of those deals where if you want this style, you can get the style and keep the 2000 drivetrain. Now, personally, I wish they just build 2000 drivetrains in newer cars and cut all this stuff out. But I don't know, they're so deep in the woods, they couldn't do it if they want to kind of deal. And I welcome any new car company that does come in with a KISS car kind of deal. But if you want to do that, maybe that's an obligation, maybe that's something you want to do. Like I said, you run into something like a Geo on paper that's had a whole bunch of stuff swapped into it, maybe a turbo, etc., like that, and you have a little bit of fun with something like that, kind of deal, and then you have a little bit of fun, and it's still capable and all kinds of fun and such, but it's still on paper a Geo and all that kind of deal, or whatever, your Prius, maybe you throw a supercharged LS into a Prius kind of deal and make a fun little driver out of it, etc., etc. And everybody's like, oh yeah, gas prices. Yeah, gas prices. And all that kind of deal. And all that, but it's simple as that is, you can run all this stuff and do what you want to do with it. Now, there's a lot to that kind of deal, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if there's companies out there right now making 80s cars, dropping LS or Coyote engines in them kind of deal and kicking them out for like 30 grand right now. You want to drive a let's just go with a 85 full-size Bronco kind of deal, with a Coyote engine and an automatic transmission, four-wheel drive, of course, maybe like a little 4-inch lift kind of deal. Still a nice little driver. Mind you, you're only going to get maybe 11, 14 miles to the gallon, but whatever kind of deal. Actually, maybe a little bit better than that, depending on how you drive. But there you go, kind of deal. You can drive that Bronco instead of the piece of crap they have out now that I wouldn't trust to rent one kind of deal. And Chevy ain't out of my crosshairs either. Same deal with the Chevy truck. You drive your square body, it's got an LS swapped into it, you're probably good for 20 years. Kind of deal. Parts are there, everything's there. You don't have to play around kind of deal. Mustang, same deal. Coyote in it, like a 90s Mustang, drop a Coyote in it. You're probably good for several years kind of deal. Old Dodge Ram truck kind of deal. And when I say old, I mean like an 80s Dodge, like a like a D100 or a D150 kind of deal. You drop a nice, you drop a Hemi into that and you're probably good to go kind of deal. And once again, all three of those or all four of those are dang near probably under $30,000. You could probably do all this stuff for probably 20, sell it, make 10, and make somebody real happy for the next 20 years instead of all this stuff. Now, and on the insurance thing there too, you also get the insurance where, I don't know about you, but I know my square bodies cost me almost nothing to insure, which is why I like driving them. But it is what it is. So you can have all the style of the 2025s, but it might just make sense to do a swap like that or something. Now, like I said, you're limited by emissions and all this kind of deal. So do what you can do kind of deal, but that might be something that might interest a couple people, and I don't know, with all this crap going on, it's so messed up. So anyway, little thoughts kind of deal. Y'all have fun. See ya.